Good afternoon. From the KUOW newsroom in Seattle, I'm Paige Browning. Let's get to the top stories of the day. It's Tuesday, July 15th. The FBI and U.S. Marshals have arrested 9 Spokane demonstrators for actions during anti-immigration enforcement protests last month. As Spokane Public Radio's Owen Henderson reports, one of their fathers says the agents deployed what he called Gestapo tactics.
Bajan Mavawala II and 8 other Spokanites have been arrested by the FBI and U.S. Marshals. Mavawala II's father, also named Bajan Mavawala, happened to be with his son when a group of agents came to arrest him early Tuesday morning. He says the agents refused to show a warrant.
You're supposed to know what you're supposed to be getting arrested for. They're supposed to inform you of your rights. They did not do that.
The elder Mavawala is a former military police officer. He says the tactics used in the arrest were meant to intimidate.
They don't care about the protests. Their goal is to scare people. Their goal is to get people compliant.
The U.S. District Attorney's Office for Eastern Washington says Mavawala II and the 8 other arrestees have all been charged for their attempts to block federal agents from taking 2 asylum seekers from Spokane to the immigration detention facility in Tacoma. I'm Owen Henderson reporting.
Meanwhile, an asylum seeker from Mexico has been released from Tacoma's Northwest ICE Processing Center after being held there for over a month. The woman, known as OJM in court filings, is transgender and said she entered the U.S. after enduring gender-based violence by cartel members. Attorneys confirmed her release today after a federal judge in Oregon ordered Immigration and Customs Enforcement to free her. U.S. District Judge Amy Baggio found the woman had been detained without proper due process. In related news, an airline that's come under fire for its contract to operate deportation flights says it'll stop all service to Washington and Oregon this year. KLCC's Chris Lehman has this story.
Avelo Airlines has been the subject of multiple protests around the Pacific Northwest because of its contract with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Its flights to Oregon and Washington mainly served vacation destinations such as Southern California and Las Vegas. Those will come to an end by early December. That's when Avelo says it will close its West Coast operations base located in Burbank, California. A spokesperson says the airline is shifting all of its planes to the East Coast. Avelo serves 4 Oregon cities, Eugene, Redmond, Medford, and Salem. It also flies to Pasco, Washington. Avelo's critics called the announcement a sign that protests against the airline are working. I'm Chris Lehman reporting.
The heat is on in the Puget Sound region and foothills of the Cascades. The entire region's under a heat advisory until tomorrow night at 10 due to forecasted highs in the 80s and mid-90s. To keep power prices down, Puget Sound Energy is paying customers to dial back their electricity use today and tomorrow. They recommend setting the AC at 72 degrees or higher. Gerald Tracy is a PSE spokesperson.
If we're able to have even just a good amount of our customers take part in this, the little bit that everybody does helps the group as a whole.
Customers have to be signed up through the PSE Flex program to receive financial incentives during what's expected to be a 2-day-long heat wave. A surge in air conditioning during a heat wave last July drove up regional electricity use by more than 1/3. Environmental groups say the temporary energy conservation can prevent utilities from turning to the most polluting and expensive power sources when demand spikes. Other advice? Use a fan in the room you're in, cover windows with curtains, and run appliances at night because they send heat throughout the home. Nude beach news on this hot day. Members of Seattle's LGBTQ community are calling out a decision from a King County Superior Court judge requiring the city to crack down on public nudity at Denny Blaine Park within the next 2 weeks. Noelle Gasca has more.
Derek Dizon has been going to Denny Blaine to hang out with his friends for almost a decade. He says the rhetoric coming from the ruling and a neighborhood association is homophobic and hypersexualizes the queer community. Look around, he says. It's a beautiful day.
People are quiet. People are snacking, enjoying each other's company, minding each other's business. It's not this like sinful, hedonistic place where people are like doing whatever people think that we're doing here.
Members of the neighborhood association Denny Blaine Park for All say the park has become a site of public masturbation, sex, and drug use. A spokesperson for Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell's office says they will review the judge's ruling. Noelle Gasca, KUOW News.
The celebrations of the Big Dumper continue today. That's Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh for the uninitiated, and he is the MLB 2025 Home Run Derby champion.
Way back on the first two. 3 in a row. Woo!
In last night's Derby, Raleigh became the first catcher and switch hitter to win the home run title, with his dad pitching to him and his younger brother catching for him nonetheless. Now he and Mariners Randy Arozarena, Andres Munoz, and Brian Wu are playing in tonight's All-Star game at 5 o'clock Pacific. We have a whole show about the local superstar, the Big Dumper, tomorrow morning. From the ballpark to the court, the Seattle Storm are getting a new regional rival with Oregon's incoming WNBA team. They're reviving the name Portland Fire and will start play in May 2026. We get this story from OPB's Kyra Buckley.
The original Portland Fire folded in 2002 after just 3 seasons. It was during a challenging time for the WNBA as it struggled to set itself apart from other pro sports leagues. Karina LeBlanc is with Portland's incoming team. She says lessons learned during the league's early years helped strengthen it. Naming the team the Fire nods to that heritage.
And it's being stewards to the city, it's being stewards to the fan base, it's being stewards to the athletes, it's being stewards to the history. And all of that came into it where we felt this was the right move.
LeBlanc acknowledges the name will fall short for some and will have critics in a state afflicted by wildfires. But she hopes skeptics will come around to the reborn Portland Fire. I'm Kyra Buckley reporting.
And here's a good example of good things coming to those who wait. Bumbershoot Arts and Music Festival has just slashed prices for its upcoming 2025 fest. 2-day passes are now $150 before fees, down from $225. They say they're able to subsidize the tickets now because of financial gifts from the Ballmer family and other donors. A couple more stories to know about before we sign off today. Boeing could have a harder time selling planes for a good price soon. The European Union plans to hike trade duties on Boeing airplanes, among other U.S. products, in response to the Trump administration's tariffs. Bloomberg News reports that the EU has compiled a list of products it's hiking duties on, including American cars, bourbon, and fresh produce. The largest category, though, is the nearly $13 billion worth of airplanes the EU's targeting. And in parking news, Bothell is the latest Washington city to get rid of parking requirements for new housing developments. They join cities from Spokane to Shoreline and Bellingham in ending requirements that home builders have to add off-street parking spaces. It's in hopes of making the city more connected and walkable. And that's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you tomorrow.